Today I choose to follow you.
Good morning. It's Friday, the 25th of November, and I've had a couple of sweet cups of coffee, so I've made myself a nice strong espresso this morning, just to cleanse the palate from all that sugar and condensed milk. Nice strong coffee. Just get back to the original. Talking of the original, well, let's go to the Bible. The original Word of God. Isaiah 48 verse 10, Jesaja 48 verse 10. Isaiah's prophesying and he's talking to Israel, and verse 10 is a scarily encouraging word, and it's a good way to end off the week. As we prepare our hearts to gather together as the people of God and fellowship together and worship God and unite our faith, as we come together, as we said yesterday, and declare, "Oh God, you are my God," let's remind ourselves that God is busy working a plan that ultimately ends in His glory. Everything that He does is for His glory. He doesn't share His glory with anybody else. In verse 10, He says, "Behold, I have refined you, but not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." It's not a very encouraging word at first sight. Who wants to be refined? Refining is when you heat a metal up and you allow all the impurities to rise to the surface, and then you skim off the top, and you keep it heated, and all the infirmities eventually, and in the good old days, silver, gold, brass, when you were busy refining it, you'd refine it. And what they would talk about is you would see your reflection without spot or mark in the surface of the metal, and then it would be refined because there would be no impurities. Now imagine God looking down on us and then putting us into affliction in order to allow the infirmities to come out, and you skim and skim and skim until that which doesn't belong, that which is dross, that which is impure, comes to the surface and is removed by a loving God, so that we can reach our fullest potential and be completely holy, that which God made us and gave us life to become. What an awesome thought. Yeah, the affliction's not good, and that's what we don't like. But if you're holding on by faith and saying, "Oh God, you are my God," then we allow the things that bring the bad out in us to happen so that the bad can be removed. Jokingly with the guys this morning, we were talking about people who have the ability, hulle die vermoë om op jou laaste sene weer te trap, en hulle trap nie, hulle speel op hom en hulle bring die ergste in jou uit. En so as jy daai ouetjie voor die bors gryp en net voor jy hom behoorlik pak slaag gee, dan as jy hom gryp, dan sê jy dankie vir die feit dat die Here jou gebruik en jou gestuur het om dit wat in my wat me nog uitkom in die lig te bring. En so kan ons dankbaar wees selfs vir daai ouens wat ons tot in 'n ander bloedgroep irriteer. But that's, jokingly said. But if we have the attitude of thankfulness for that which is happening with us, entrusting all that happens to a loving God, then it's easy to be able to say with Isaiah 48:10, "I've refined you, not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." So God doesn't put us in flames, but He puts us in affliction. Silver you heat up with fire. You and I, we get heated up with afflictions that the Lord allows and brings across our life. But it's in order to bring that which doesn't belong to the surface so that it can be removed. And what do? We confess. If I confess my sins, He's faithful and just to forgive and cleanse. You see, there's the purifying, the refining, to forgive and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Think about that as you go into the weekend, and be an encouragement in spite of yourself or because of who you are. Be an encouragement to all those who the Lord brings across your path. And remember to glorify God, even in the midst of affliction. Glorify God this Lord's Day as you gather, Lord willing, in a church together with saints. Have a wonderful Friday.